Today we got two hulking brutes going head to head. Hulk versus Steppenwolf. Who comes out on top? Let's find out.
Eyes up. Stay sharp. Stay down. Final warning. I could do this all day.
Bruce Banner was a bioscientist tasked with working on an updated version of the super soldier serum, using gamma radiation as the activation trigger instead of Vita rays. After injecting himself with the serum, Bruce didn't become the next Captain America, pinnacle of human potential. Instead, the Hulk was born, a huge, rage-fueled monster of incredible strength. He has since become a founding member of the Avengers, one of the most respected heroes on Earth. Originally, Bruce Banner was forced to transform into the Hulk when his heart reaches 200 beats a minute. He has since learned how to control the beast, and can actually transform into the Hulk at will. He also transformed into the Hulk whenever he's in danger, even when he seemingly died, with the perfect example being when Bruce jumped out of the ship and landed on the Rainbow Bridge. Hulk's greatest asset is obviously his physical strength, and he is easily one of the strongest characters in the whole MCU. He is strong enough to easily destroy military vehicles, throwing them around like he was throwing out a softball, destroy bunkers just by running straight through them, overpower and choke out Abomination, and he's matched Thor in strength and actually smashed both Loki and Thor. Hulk has stopped a strike from Thor cold in the palm of his hand. He moved a Leviathan of his pure physical strength and dented its smashed Leviathan armor, with it being said that Iron Man would actually run out of power before he dented that same armor. Hulk was also able to throw a seriously powerful punch, sending Ultron flying halfway across the city with one good hit, pounded Abomination to the pavement, and he punched Thor so hard they began to see visions. He also destroyed a Leviathan with just one good solid punch, and actually staggered Surtur, who's the size of a mountain, with just one hit. Then, along with his incredible strength, Hulk is also ridiculously durable. Assault rifle fire just bounces off his skin. Miniguns and 50 cal bullets don't even bother him, and aircraft fire only goes on to make him mad. He's able to take repeated punches and attacks from Thor, even Mjolnir when he's in its awakened form, and taking repeated attacks from Abomination, who should be close to his physical equal. He's been thrown by Surtur, dropped through a skyscraper by Hulkbuster, and beat down by Thanos. Hulk is even surprisingly fast, being able to catch Mjolnir, block attacks from Thor, jump to Ultron's flying city, and save Iron Man, and is even able to do some limited parkour. Thus we got in one corner, the strongest Avenger, Hulk. But, entering the ring straight from Apocalypse, Steppenwolf. Steppenwolf is the cruel warlord from Apocalypse, hailed as the Ender of Worlds. He's conquered several worlds in his long existence, but was defeated by the combined might of the people of Earth and sent into exile. With Superman now out of the way, only the Justice League can stop him from finishing the job. Steppenwolf is incredibly strong, being able to destroy a massive section of the ground with one strike, knock out Aquaman and Mera while they were under the water, and actually kill a Green Lantern. He's able to send Wonder Woman flying backwards, damage Batman's massive Nightcrawler, and Steppenwolf is actually consistently proven to be stronger than both Wonder Woman and Aquaman combined, even stopping a 200 step from Arthur cold just one hand. He's also superhumanly durable, being able to take attacks from Cyborg and Batman like they were nothing. He leapt back into the action after taking attacks from Wonder Woman and Aquaman, and actually took attacks from the old gods like Zeus and Ares. And even though he was punked by Superman, to his credit, Steppenwolf did recover quickly from those attacks. He's also incredibly fast, deflecting spears thrown by Amazonians, deflecting arrows shot by Hippolyta, easily reacted to and even caught missiles, and somehow he even managed to sneak attack the Flash. Steppenwolf is also insanely battle hungry, and actually kinda arrogant when it comes to his strength and prowess in battle. More than once, he's up to trash talk opponents, encouraged Hippolyta to run just so he could catch her, brushed his minions aside so he could attack one-on-one, and even smiled when the League showed up to stop his final plan. So, who wins? Well, let's break it down. Now, ever since Justice League came out almost 2 years ago now, Hulk versus Steppenwolf is a fight that I've really been wanting to see and play out. I mean, they just appear to be such well and evenly matched combatants, it just makes sense. Also, just prepare yourself, there's going to be a lot of scaling of other characters in this fight, especially with Steppenwolf. Because the most impressive feats obviously took place while battling against the Justice League, especially Wonder Woman and Aquaman, so we got to know how powerful both those heroes are in order to establish Steppenwolf's power. In fact, if we didn't use scaling for this video, most we get to Steppenwolf would be creating large critters in the ground of his sword, finding Amazonians and their nameless characters, and catching and dodging missiles. Hulk has got that one pretty much in the bag. So yeah, we gotta use scaling. Alright, let's get started. Now, first we need to take a look at his strength. Which one of these two characters is stronger? Well, for Steppenwolf, he's strong enough to create massive critters in the ground with a single swing of his axe, send Wonder Woman flying into a wall, defeat Aquaman while under the water, outmatch both Wonder Woman and Aquaman, and that needed Arthur's help just to pull him from a ledge, and they still needed Cyborg to shoot him to do it. So, obviously, like I said, that raises the question of just how stronger Wonder Woman and Aquaman. Well, Diana has been battling against both Superman and Doomsday, even knocking Doomsday off his feet and hacking off his hand with her sword. She also destroyed a bell tower, flipped over an Earhart, which weighs 7 tons, later lifted up a World War I tank, weighing around 29 tons, and threw it. Then there's Aquaman, and I really want to focus on him under the water, where he's stronger. He's lift up a massive submerged sub and bring it to the surface. Although, to be fair, it's pretty reasonable to argue that Aquaman did get a boost in between Justice League and Aquaman. Although it was never explicitly mentioned in the movies, the DCEU canon is kinda all over the place. But still, it's presumable that Arthur was around Diana's strength in Justice League. Yet, even though Diana and Arthur are this strong, Steppenwolf is still stronger. She takes Wonder Woman and Aquaman's combined strength to even begin to rival Steppenwolf. On the other hand, how strong is the Hulk? Well, just by walking, he's strong enough to crack concrete. He's able to toss military vehicles like they were softballs, easily catch and throw tanks, suplex Fenris the Wolf, who weighs 30 tons, punch into a wall made of silicon carbide vibranium, throw a large boulder thousands of feet away, and even knock Surtur back and crack part of his crown with his punches, and Surtur is the size of a mountain. He's able to overpower Abomination, easily destroy Loki, overpower Thor, and probably most impressively, stop a Chitauri Leviathan cold with one punch, flip the Leviathan, and completely destroy it, with a Leviathan weighing around 1,500 tons. So with that alone, I would say that Hulk is physically stronger than Steppenwolf, although still being able to overpower multiple heroes is insanely impressive. But if we're able to scale Steppenwolf to Wonder Woman and Aquaman, I think it's only fair that we can scale Hulk as well, specifically against Thor. Now, I don't want to use the instance of Thor restarting the Forge in Infinity War, because that was after his amp. Well, it's one of the greatest feats of strength in any comic book movie. So we use everything before that. He's crushed Iron Man's gauntlets with ease, which are 4 times stronger than steel, hit Hulk and sent him flying through hundreds of feet of metal, and effortlessly snapped dozens of Surtur's chains, whereas one of Surtur's dragons was struggling to snap just one link of one chain. That dragon is still impressively strong, but yet Hulk is still powerful enough to stop an overhand strike from Thor cold, palm of his hand, send Thor flying hundreds of feet away, and beat Thor so hard he began having visions of his dead father. So yeah, both by scaling and sheer feats alone, Hulk is stronger here. So about durability. Well, Steppenwolf is taking attacks from both Zeus and Ares, from Aquaman and Wonder Woman. We're already seeing how strong those two are, and probably most impressively, from Superman himself. And even though a lot of people like to rail on Steppenwolf for how poorly he did against Superman, and he did get his ass handed to him by Cal, it's important to remember that Steppenwolf didn't get knocked out by any of those attacks, and actually quickly recovered from all of them. In fact, he was sent flying by a massive blow from Superman and still instantly blocked a follow-up attack from Aquaman. On the other hand, Hulk has easily brushed off gunfire of all sorts, and aircraft fire only makes him more angry. He's taken massive attacks and been kicked through buildings by Abomination, thrown by Surtur, who's the size of a mountain, and even slammed through the Rainbow Bridge by Fenris. He's taken plenty of hits from Thor, even with Mjolnir, then sent flying through hundreds of feet of metal by Thor, and taken massive punches from Awakened Thor that sent out shockwaves the size of buildings and easily brushed it off. In fact, Hulk has only been knocked out 3 times in the whole MCU. One time, he fell from 5.5 miles up in the air and was only momentarily knocked out. Secondly, he was fighting against an Iron Man suit that he had specifically designed to beat him, rammed through a 50-floor skyscraper, and was still only knocked out by a sucker punch after he'd already begun to calm down. And lastly, he was knocked out by Thanos, biggest threat in the whole MCU. So yeah, it's impressive that Steppenwolf has never actually been knocked out by the Justice League. But Hulk has faced off against bigger threats than even Superman himself, namely Surtur and Thanos. Although I understand that is kind of debatable. Also, one of the biggest problems with the Justice League, especially when using the movie in a versus video, is just how inconsistent every character is throughout the whole movie. Like, look at Steppenwolf, for instance. Because while there were times he easily took attacks from Wonder Woman and Aquaman, there were times where Diana and Arthur sent him flying across the room with attacks, and even been stabbed and bled with Arthur's trident. Even taking attacks from old gods like Zeus and Ares isn't that impressive, since we don't really know anything about the gods, but that they're able to fight Steppenwolf, and we also know that Ares went on to beat every other god, then Wonder Woman beat Ares. Probably most obvious though, overpowered and swarmed just by simple parademons. Batman, being able to overpower a parademon. And yeah, while Hulk's been overwhelmed by Chitauri spaceships, the spaceships were able to casually send cars flying away with a single blast. Hulk has shown better feats. While Steppenwolf is able to take massive attacks, he's kinda inconsistent as well. I'm not trying to poke holes in Steppenwolf because I like Hulk more. Just, somebody has to be stronger. What they've shown us, I think it's the Hulk. So Hulk is stronger and more durable. But Steppenwolf is faster, if only by a little. Hulk is fast enough to grab an ejector seat without warning. In a tie-in MCU comic, he grabbed an RPG and even performed a tremor tap in the span of Abomination, lifting up his foot and setting it on the ground. But Steppenwolf is able to easily deflect arrows, deflect spears, and even deflect and catch missiles fired from Batman's Nightcrawler. Probably most impressively, Steppenwolf was fast enough to easily battle against Aquaman under the water and against Wonder Woman. We've also seen how fast both those heroes can be when they're really going off. Now, not saying that Steppenwolf is as fast as Arthur and Diana, especially when Diana can effortlessly deflect machine gun fire like it was nothing, and Steppenwolf has been tagged by Cyclops on several occasions, but he is faster in combat than the Hulk. He's also a whole lot more skilled than the Hulk, being a warlord from Apocalypse and fighting against both Wonder Woman and Aquaman at the same time, who are both skilled fighters in their own right. Hulk's also shown that he's kind of susceptible to more skilled fighters who are in the same league physically, like when he was trashed by Thanos, and Thor would have eventually beaten him in a fair gladiator match. And there's Steppenwolf's axe, which with just one swing is able to destroy the ground and leave a massive crater. But that axe is actually super inconsistent as well. I don't think it'll do much damage to the Hulk. I mean, it didn't cut through Wonder Woman or Aquaman. It didn't cut all the way through Cyborg, even though Steppenwolf was later able to rip Cyborg apart with his bare hands. And during the attack on Themyscira, Steppenwolf hit several Amazonians clean on with the blade of his axe, yet there were no visible cuts. If he's not cutting all the way through Cyborg, not even visibly cutting Amazonians, he's not cutting Hulk. Simple as that. Plus, if it does, Hulk is instantly healed from bites from Fenris and bone stabs from Abomination. So, end of the day, which prevails, Hulk's physical superiority or Steppenwolf's greater skill? Well, I gotta side with Hulk here. He was scaling off of Wonder Woman and Aquaman. Hulk has still proven that he's stronger, more durable, and most importantly can throw a stronger punch. Steppenwolf is faster and the more skilled fighter, but he's just too inconsistent, being held back by Amazonians and injured by parademons. And Hulk is still too much. Steppenwolf will give him a hell of a fight. That's what I would love to see, but I think Hulk is ultimately coming out on top here. Hulk wins. But what do y'all think? I would love to hear your thoughts. Sound off in the comments down below. Also, be sure to hit the like button, the subscribe button, turn on notifications, join the FanCo army, and I will see you all next time.